So I just wanted to jump on here and see if any of you are also having some rapture doubts, because I was, and still kind of am here and there, but let me kind of get into it. So there were a lot of people around the world who did a 3-day fast right before September started, and I really wanted to try and do that too. Unfortunately, I was only able to do about 40 hours until my headaches and dizziness were just way too much for me to bear. I legitimately have no idea how people are capable of doing 3 or more days of fasting and still are functioning human beings, just walking and talking like normal people. I don't know if I have like anemia or low blood sugar like my mom. Maybe I should get that checked out before I do my next fast. But I can't do it. Your girl can't make it, so I can't do it. However, I was feeling really good getting into the fast before it started, totally pumped about the rapture, as you could tell from my last video, probably. However, at the end of my fast, I could just feel this huge wave of doubt just crashing over me. Um, and it was really, really heavy on me. So I was really comforted when I saw the next day a video from another creator. Let me share my screen here and show you. And he was kind of talking about having similar issues. So this is what he said.
Okay, so the past 3 days while I've been on this 3-day fast, I've had a lot of spiritual warfare coming against me. And part of the spiritual warfare has been attacking, trying to create and cause doubt about September 20, the rapture being September 23rd, 24th. And I woke up with some doubts this morning. And I said to God, I went for my walk. I went on a walk this morning and I said to God, I don't want confirmations just through license plates anymore.
So he goes on to talk about the confirmations that he got from God, and it's a really great video, so I recommend you watch it. He's a great creator. Um, and so I realized that he was maybe totally right, because I didn't even think about the fact that this could be the enemy trying to sow seeds of doubt. Plus, this is exactly what he did to Jesus at the end of his fast. Granted, his was 40 days, mine was 40 hours, but still, same. Because when Jesus was at the end of his fast, he was weak, he was hungry, like I was, and the devil just tried to throw him off his path and tempt him. And the devil is definitely the kind of guy that likes to kick us when we're down. So it sounds like him. And even this other creator that you might have heard of, from Kingdom Saints Rising, he mentioned kind of how he had some doubts as well. So I'm going to share that now.
And lately, I mean, if I'm truly brutally honest with you guys, like I feel a tug of doubt of, am I really listening to God? Is God really speaking to me, or am I being deceived, right? Am I listening to the enemy about confirmations, about my prayers?
So that's also a great video. And I really like him as a creator too. And he's so honest. I really enjoy his content. But yeah, so it was really comforting to know that these big creators, these more mature Christians in the faith, are feeling this way. So that's why I wanted to make this video and say, you're not alone if you feel that way. And that it could just be the enemy trying to get us down. And, we need to just stay faithful no matter what anyway. And we just need to continue to encourage each other no matter what. So it might be the devil. It might just be us as the time grows closer. And we're starting to worry ourselves because we're just afraid to be let down again. And in my last video, in the comments section, I heard from so many other mature Christians, and they were talking about how they have been waiting and watching for years, and they saw so many dates come and go, and they're still so hopeful, and it's so inspiring. I honestly have no idea how they have been so brave for so long. And, bravo to them. But personally, I think I'm going to be a one and done kind of gal. Maybe not, but this is hard to go through. This is a bit of a roller coaster. I can do this again. Um, and I have been comforting myself with all of these other rapture videos from people in the community, and my spirits have been lifted. So, that's a great way to find comfort for yourself as well. But I'm gonna be honest, I go through about 2 to 3, rapture mood swings a day. In the beginning of the day, I'll be maybe sad at the idea that, it might not happen. And then later on, super excited at the possibility that it could happen and it could be soon. And then later on, crying about all the souls who still don't know Jesus. And then worried again, because maybe I'm, believing the lies of the enemy and it won't happen anytime soon. So, I just try to stay excited and comforted, but mostly hopeful. Just stay hopeful. At least no matter what happens, we can all stay hopeful. And I am, a type A kind of personality. I like to plan. I like to, have plan A, plan B. So I am still planning of what to do in case those dates do pass, thinking of projects I can do, things I can do with the family to keep my spirits up so I can just kind of continue to move on if those dates do pass. And if they do pass, I will be severely confused beyond all measure, but I will still love the Lord and keep walking with him. And to be honest, I also don't really like continuously asking God for confirmations because it makes me feel like I'm an annoying toddler in the back seat of a road trip asking their parents every 10 minutes, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? But because I am a child compared to God, at least, and you know what? He also does say that we should be childlike in the faith. I, of course, did ask again for more confirmations. So when the other day we had a thunderstorm, I looked out the window and I asked him again for some confirmation. And I said, okay, Lord, will the rapture happen September of this year? And I was really hoping to get like a flash of lightning right after I asked that question. And I was going to take that as my answer, as like my confirmation. I did not get that. But I did get a strong urge to open my Bible to a random page. I felt like the Spirit was leading me to do that. So I did that. And I'm going to share with you where my finger landed when I opened up my Bible. I'm going to zoom in here also. You can see it yet. Okay. So my finger landed on one of these tabs. As you can see, I have these beautiful tabs, which I love. And my finger was right about here. And so I just kind of followed that. And what does it say? The Messiah's coming. 23, right there. So I was asking if, hey, God, are you coming September of this year? And my response was pretty darn clear to me. Yeah, the Messiah is coming. 23. And then, just for fun, I wanted to kind of check the other page because it opened to these two pages. And I wanted to see what was here. And I saw 24. And I said, what's that? What is written there? And it says a description of his return. And then because I know that 23 and 9 are also, numbers that people are using still, constantly for signs, I wanted to read what this said. It said a sampling of his judgment. Now, that doesn't necessarily talk about his return, but people like to think of the tribulations as a sampling of the Lord's judgment. And I thought that was pretty interesting too. So I wanted to share that because I found that comforting and really exciting. And also, as you saw, that was not actually a Bible verse. It was from my particular Bible, which is the Women's Study Bible. So it was like those introductions before the actual book starts. So not everyone's going to have that. So it was really special to me. And so I thought that was really pretty interesting that I wanted to share. I have these bullet points that I tend to look at when I'm doing these videos to kind of keep me on track on what I want to say to you guys. And when I was writing this little speech here, at this exact point, right after I was talking about this confirmation I got about the Bible, I took a little break from writing. And I, of course, went to my phone for a little break. And the first video I saw was very interesting. And I wanted to share that with you here too. So let me share my screen for what video I saw right after I wrote that part of my bullet points.
But my confirmations was earlier last month. I said, Lord, if this is truly of you, I said, give me a confirmation. My Bible was beside my bed, and many times I will use the Bible to get my word of my confirmations or a word from the Lord for that day, because that's what he does. He speaks to us through his word most often. So I was like, God, I said, I'm going to open this Bible, which I hadn't opened that Bible in years because I use my app on my phone. So I got the Bible down. I said, I'm going to open this Bible. And if you are truly coming and Joshua's right, I said, let me just open this. I'm not going to look at where I open it. I'm not going to look where I put my finger. But if you're coming, let me open this Bible out of over 22,000. And I think it was, I Googled it, 200 and something verses in the Bible. Let me put my finger on one of those 22,000 that refers to your second coming in the prophecy. Well, anyway, I just randomly opened the Bible, not even paying attention or even looking at it when I opened it. And lo and behold, I looked down at my finger and guess where it's at? It's in Zechariah, which I don't even read that book. Didn't even hardly know it was even in the Bible, honestly. And I put my finger on Zechariah, I think it's 13 or 14. And the heading above my chapter, guess where my finger was on? It said the day of the Lord. It was referring to the second coming. The whole chapter is about the second coming when he returns to earth. And so that blew me away. I was like, wow, how could I have just done this on my own? No way. So that was good for me. So then about a week ago, I said, God, give me one more confirmation with the word. So the light was off in my room. I was laying in my bed with the Bible beside me, and I just reached over without even looking. It was dark, as I said, and just randomly opened the Bible to the very beginning of the Bible. And I thought, well, I probably need to open it differently. I don't even know if I've opened the Bible. It feels like it's just the flap. But then something spoke to me and said, no, just open it where I put your finger. So I did. Look down at where I opened the Bible to when I turned the light on, and guess what it said? Just what Joshua said when he, brother Joshua, when he said the Lord first said that after 77 years, the exodus of the church will start or will happen. Well, guess what? I put my finger right on a chapter, and right above it, you know what it said? It said the Exodus, the beginning of the Exodus. It was in the book of Exodus, the beginning part of the book. I was totally blown away by that. Totally blown away. You can't make that up. Put my finger right on the words that was above the chapter I was on in Exodus. It said the beginning of the Exodus. I'm like, wow, God, you are amazing. Anyway, I just wanted to share it with you guys. God bless you. Keep holding on. Keep your faith. Keep your eyes on the prize. Bye.
I really love that too. Right after I wrote my notes about my confirmation, about going to a random page in the Bible, which I honestly don't do very often. Like, really, just maybe a few times a year, I'll do something like that. And I get a video talking about the exact same kind of thing about this guy and getting his confirmation the exact same way, which is even funny to me as well, because most of these confirmation videos are of people talking about finding numbers, having dreams or visions and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever seen another video of someone really talking about getting it from the Bible and like doing that random page finding in the Bible. I'm sure there are probably many, because right now there's probably now thousands of videos out there of all of us talking about our confirmations, which I love. But I personally have not seen someone talking about a confirmation that they got this way. This was the first time I'd heard of it, and it was right after I had wrote my notes about it. So that was a little nod from God as well. So I also wanted to kind of end here and say thank you so much to every single one of you. I honestly cannot believe how many of you subscribed and commented, so many of you, on my very first video, the last video I did. I am so humbled and honored that I brought even just a teeny tiny little bit of comfort to so many people. It makes my whole life feel like it was worth something, honestly. Like that I can comfort the kingdom in the tiny little speck of dust way that I did. It's really humbling. And I want to just continue and encourage you all to continue to comfort each other with your videos, because it comforts me, and comfort each other with your comments. It has been helpful for me too. I love talking to you and just hearing from you and just hearing your stories. It's so exciting. And I really, really wish I could answer every single one of you. I really tried on my last video. I did not make it, but I answered a lot of you. I wish I could talk. I would love nothing more than to just sit in a big room with all of you and just chat for hours about God. I am so hungry for conversations about God, and I honestly don't get to do that in my everyday life, which is kind of sad, but I am so thankful that YouTube exists and I can pretend like all of you are my friends and we're all just chatting together, talking about God. I love that. So, but I am truly overwhelmed and excited. So excited to meet every single one of you one day in heaven. I love you all so, so much. And I will try to keep posting as much as I can because I have so much other stuff I would love to share with you guys. But until then, chat soon. Bye bye.